Okay, we are back. What was D-Day? Okay, guys, help me. What war is D-Day in? World War II. All right. So we're going to learn about World War II. Inside it says, "For all the brave who fight for freedom and peace," from the author Patricia Brennan DeMuth. What was D-Day? Chapter 1. We see a ship. There's some tanks. Look here. There's some type of aircraft. Okay, let's learn some more. June 6th, 1944. In the dark hours before dawn, a giant war fleet was sailing across, look, the English Channel. Here they are, a large fleet sailing. There were over 5,000 ships and boats of all shapes and sizes. More than 155,000 soldiers were on board, mostly American, British, and Canadian. They were called the Allies. Ally means friends joined together in a cause. Another huge Allied force had just flown over the channel to France, filling 11,000 airplanes. All of the soldiers on boats and in planes were risking their lives to invade Europe and end World War II. The Second World War had been raging for 5 years. It had started in 1939 when Adolf Hitler, the leader of the Nazis, Germany invaded Poland. Now more than 30 nations were part of the war. The Germans had overtaken nearly all of mainland Europe, and World War II had become the bloodiest war that ever was. So what do we know? They came in when? June 6, 1944. And how many boats and ships? 5,000. There were how many soldiers? 100,000. And they were American, British, and Canadians. Whew. Allies were fighting Hitler, but so far they had almost no troops on the ground in Europe, let alone in Germany itself. There was only one way the Allies could defeat Nazi Germany and free Europe. They had to fight and beat Hitler on his home ground. Do they want the Nazis to win? No. Yep. No more Nazis. They say no more war. But how? First, the Allies had to land a huge army on the coast of France. Right here. Huge army on the coast of France. Plus, tanks, trucks, and supplies. They had to fight their way inland for 700 miles to get to Berlin, the capital of Germany. For nearly 2 years, the Allies planned the Great Invasion. Millions of people worked on it. Engineers invented new war machines. Factory workers produced new planes and tanks. Spies fed Hitler's false reports. And nearly 2 million Allied soldiers trained hard in Britain. Yet, the whole invasion could fall apart. The Germans had built a wall of steel and concrete defenses up and down the coast. Could the first wave of Allied soldiers break through and gain control of the beaches and exit roads? That was the only way the rest of the troops could land. If the D-Day soldiers failed, all would be lost. There was no backup plan. The Allies had thrown everything they had into this one. D-Day, a code word for the day of any major military attack. But when people talk about D-Day, now they mean, what date? 6/19. D-Day was a turning point in history. It was the beginning of the end of World War II. A picture I forgot to show you guys. Okay. What question do you have? D-Day happened because D-Day was back when there were the Nazi wars, back when the Holocaust. Right. So are we fighting that war anymore or is it over? It's over. How many soldiers were their allies on the coast of France? How many? 155,000. And they were leaving France. There was 11,000 planes. Yeah. And World War II was the bloodiest war that ever was. Yes, sir. The Allies want to win, right? Do they want Hitler to gain any more ground? No, they want to take it away. How many years did they plan the Great Invasion? 2 years. 2 whole years. That's a long time. And how many plans did they have? One or five? No. One plan. So did this plan have to work? Yeah, it had to work because there was only one plan. 2 years for one plan. And they, no backup plan because that would mean there's two. There was only one plan. So could they fail? No, they couldn't fail. If they failed, would they take over and say no more Hitler? No. Who came together? Some of the allies were American, British, Canadians. Okay. 2 million soldiers trained hard in great. And they came to the plan was to come to the coast of France. And they had to travel how many miles? 700 miles to the capital of Germany. Is taking over Germany, and who's their leader? Adolf Hitler. Good job. We'll see you guys again soon.